Hello everybody. Do you remember the calculations you had to make on primary school? Like 7 multiplied by 7, 5 multiplied 4, 9 multiplied by 8, 10 multiplied by 8. Well, this might be difficult. And for many people it is. Many people had to struggle with it. But you know what? Did you know that there was some symmetry in it? Or maybe some people call it art? Let's find out how we're going to do this. What are you going to learn in this short video? I'm going to use names instead of a mixed reference. A mixed reference is a $sign only for the column or only for the row. But instead of that, I'm going to use names. I'm going to use the mod function to calculate the rest if you divide a number by divisor. And I'm going to use conditional formatting with the mod to display this symmetry. And if you like the art. I'm going to use finally a spin button to display the different variants very easy. Alright, enough talking, let's continue. I prepared a bit, so this is the structure I'm to make this visual. 1, 2, I use 20 numbers. 20 numbers in a column, and I'm going to use 20 columns in a row. Copy and right mouse button, paste or as transpose. Alright, the columns are too wide, so I select all the columns and then I resize it a bit. So this is my yellow area. I'm going to make this yellow, and here I want to make the calculations in it. Alright, how is the calculations to be? Well, I'm first going to display you how to make the mixed reference. Equals C4, and there we only fix the column, so we $sign for the C, and we multiply it with the D3, and there we fix only the row. Now if you do this, then you are able to drag it to the right and drag it down. So this is called a mixed reference. If you double click on it, you see that the reference is the correct cells. Alright, that was nice, but we are not to do this. We are going to do this on a different way, and we're going to use names. Well, let's give this the color red. Why red? Well, it starts with an R, and I'm going to call this the red row. And in the same way, I'm going to make this a column, which color is started with a C, that's cyan, so I call this the cyan column. Alright, now I have to give this the name. So this is the name red underscore row. I'm not allowed to use spaces. And this is, I'm going to give the name cyan column. Alright, let's check if this was okay. If I click on it, I see that I have two names, red row, and it will be selected there. Now, watch the magic. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to multiply the row and the column. So I multiply cyan column, tab, multiplied with red row. Enter. Well, now I don't use any F4 or any $signs. I just use names, copy it to the right and copy it down. And it works. Alright, I made the column not so correct, so I have to add to the 23. Okay, no problem. Formulas, name matter, the column, edit, and the row goes to row 23. And now it'll be okay. Okay, close. And now everything works fine. Alright. Let's continue. Now, what's a secret? Well, if I click on this 7 multiplied by 8, if I double click on it, Excel searches for cyan column and red row. This is a whole range, but if I do not use an aggregate function like sum, it's a search for the same row and the same column, and that's why this function works. Alright, that was nice. Now, we are going to do something else. We have here a number, and the number is from 1 till 20. Okay, and then we have a divisor, and let's take a divisor 1. This is an input value, so in the home I use this as an input value. And then we're going to use the function mod. And the mod is a kind of rest. How many are left over? Left over. It's better. Left over. Alright, I will use the mod. This number here I will call the divisor. I select both of them. Formulas, create from selection, and this is the left column. Check it out. If I click on the divisor now, it will be Z1. And in the same way, I use number, create from selection in the top row, and check it out. This is the number, all the numbers in this range. Now, in the same way we did this here, we can use the mod here. Equals mod. What it should do, it returns the remainder after a number is divided by a divisor. Tab. The number is the number, how original, semicolon, and the divisor is the divisor. Click close, enter. Copy this down, and you see that all the results are 0, and that means that all the numbers can be divided by. Okay, I made a mistake here, probably the same here. The number row I have added it and then to 23. No problem. Okay, close. So if I divide it by 2, then we see that all the even numbers like 2 and 4 have a modular value of 0. And if I use, for example, 5, then we see that we have in 5, in 10, in 15, and in 20. All these numbers divided by 5. So if the leftover is 0, it can be perfectly divided by this divisor. Let's put it back on 1. Now let's do some. Now I explained the mod. Let's now explain the conditional formatting and make the symmetry. I'm going to use this range, the whole yellow range, and there I'm going to apply the conditional formatting. In the menu home, conditional formatting, new rule, and we have to click for a formula. Now, what will be the formula? Something with mod. Equals mod, bracket open, and then I have to type it in. I don't get any assistance. The first in the left corner on top is cell D4, and the divisor is the name of Z1, so I type in divisor, bracket close. Now, if this number is equal to 0, then this returns true, and that means it can be divided by 1. Let's put a format in it, and I choose some kind of orange. Click OK, and again OK. What do you expect? All the numbers which you see here are divided by 400. Alright, what happens if you divide this by 2? Enter. Then you see all these numbers are divided by 2. So 80, 84, 16, 12, 6, all these numbers are divided by 2. And here this number 5 and number 21 is not cannot divide it by 2. Let's take 3. Let's take 4, and so on. Now, let's make a spin button. In the Developer tab, I can click on Insert a spin button. This is this one, spin button, form control. Here. Okay, right mouse button, format control, and the minimum value is a 1, and the maximum value, let's go to 20, and the cell link is this cell Z1, the divisor. Click on OK, and it will be put back to 0. Now let's do a click. If you click on it, it will be a 2, a 3, a 4, isn't it beauty, a 5, a 6. Wow, did you imagine that you could make this a 7, an 8, a 9, a 10, 11, 12, beauty, isn't it? 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Alright, This was the symmetry. I hope you like it. Maybe you see some art in it. Well, I do, and I hope you can use these calculations in your work. Thank you for watching. See you next time and on another video. Thank you.